The Zareth Dominion had ruled for 10,000 years. Their banners stretched across spiral arms, their fleets shattered any resistance, and their name was spoken with reverence and terror alike. To them, humanity was nothing more than a quaint curiosity. Upstart. Mammals who had barely stretched their wings into the interstellar dark. When the Dominion's High Council declared humanity a soft species, it was not a debate, but a proclamation. The humans had treaties, diplomacy, and talk of shared futures. They spoke of commerce and cooperation, of science exchanged freely, of peace lasting generations. The Zareth laughed. Peace was a lie. The galaxy was ruled not by words, but by the lash of power. So when the Dominion's patrol fleet came upon Erebus colony, they did not pause. Erebus was a mining outpost on the fringe of settled human space, home to 80,000 civilians, farmers, miners, children. It had no warships, no defenses worthy of note. The Dominion descended like carrion birds. They bombarded the colony's cities from orbit, their capital ships watching the surface split apart in molten ruin. The screams of civilians were caught by emergency transmissions, broadcasts that died mid-sentence as the transmitters burned. The Dominion commander allowed the feed to play across their fleet, laughing as human voices begged for mercy. When the bombardment was done, the Zareth sent troops. Survivors were dragged into the open, lined up beneath the banners of the Dominion. Some were executed to set an example. Others were taken as slaves, laborers to work Dominion mines until their fragile bodies broke. The alien commander gave one final order. Let the humans know. Their colony is ash, their people belong to us, and their vaunted earth can do nothing. They will bow, or they will burn. And with that, the Dominion departed, leaving only blackened craters and orbiting debris where Erebus had once stood. The laughter of Empire's news spread quickly. Across Dominion space, the destruction of Erebus was spoken of as a trivial affair, a minor campaign, a footnote. The Zareth elite dined in palaces of glass and crystal, raising cups of blood wine as they mocked humanity's weakness. Human emissaries at trade stations were laughed out of chambers. Your colony begged, the aliens sneered. Your colony screamed. You are children in a universe of conquerors. To the Dominion, this was proof eternal. Humans would never be more than prey. At council gatherings, admirals boasted of how swiftly they would crush Earth itself if given the order. Scholars proclaimed that humans lacked the ferocity required to survive the long game of empire. They value life too much, one declared, to ever understand the necessity of power. The galaxy's lesser species took note as well. Some pitied humanity. Others prepared to join the Dominion in carving up the fragile newcomers. They whispered that Earth would submit. Earth would sue for peace. Earth would endure humiliation as it always had, hiding behind words and treaties. They were wrong. The silence before the storm. For weeks after Erebus fell, Earth said nothing. No broadcast, no condemnation, no declaration of war. The Dominion mistook this for fear. They have no armies, the Zareth told themselves. No fleet strong enough to challenge us. Their silence is surrender. But in the void between stars, something was moving. Human fleets that had never been revealed began to stir. Warships hidden in deep docks, buried beneath asteroid belts, or concealed in the shadow of gas giants, powered up their cores. Massive dreadnoughts, silent projects whose existence was denied even in Earth's own council chambers, emerged from secret shipyards, their hulls bristling with weapons the galaxy had never seen. On encrypted frequencies, humanity's allies were contacted, not with pleas for help, but with warnings. Stand aside. Do not interfere. What comes next is ours alone. Across human space, the civilian transmissions stopped. Public channels went dark. Colonies that once broadcast music, laughter, commerce, all fell into silence. The galaxy listened, unsettled. What was Earth hiding? Why did their voices vanish? And then, a single transmission broke the void. A calm voice, human, spoken in a dozen galactic languages, carried on every channel that had once mocked them. This is Earth. You took one of ours. You butchered our children. You enslaved our kin. You believe we will beg. You believe we will kneel. You are wrong. We do not kneel. We rise. The awakening of wrath. The Dominion's border fleets were the first to see it. At the edge of their patrol zones, stars went dark, not from supernovas or cosmic storms, but from the silhouettes of human fleets arriving in silence. Battle groups larger than any Dominion had faced in centuries emerged from hyperspace, their formation perfect, their weapons glowing with restrained fury. The humans did not open with words. They did not repeat demands. They simply attacked. The first Dominion fleet to resist was annihilated in 12 minutes. Flagships that had ruled sectors for generations were ripped apart by human rail cannons, their shields torn open by swarms of missiles that flew with a predator's hunger. Fighters moved like swarms of hornets, overwhelming defenses, slicing into capital ships until nothing remained but wreckage. Survivors tried to retreat. They did not succeed. The humans pursued with cold efficiency, hunting down escape pods, silencing distress calls. No quarter was given, and still, the human fleets pushed forward. The galaxy trembles in less than a month. 5 Dominion sectors had fallen silent. Stations that once broadcast the Zareth anthem now lay abandoned, their docks filled with burned-out husks. Colonies that had jeered at humanity's weakness were suddenly cut off from supply lines, their skies filled with the black shapes of human dreadnoughts. The galaxy was watching now. Allies who had dismissed humanity began to whisper with dread. Neutral powers closed their borders, terrified that the storm might turn upon them. Even the Dominion High Council, arrogant beyond measure, began to feel unease. Still, they blustered. "It is nothing." A flare of anger, a tantrum. They will exhaust themselves soon. But the humans did not exhaust themselves. The longer the campaign lasted, the stronger they seemed to grow. Fleets that were believed destroyed reappeared with reinforcements. Soldiers described as soft stormed Dominion fortresses with terrifying precision, their discipline unshakable, their fury unending. The Dominion, for the first time in 10,000 years, was afraid. Retribution unleashed. The final blow came at Kael'thar, the Dominion's jewel. A world-ringed capital, defended by the greatest armada ever assembled. When human fleets emerged at the edge of the system, there was no warning, no negotiation. Only a brief broadcast carried across the stars. "This is for Erebus." Then the storm broke. Dreadnoughts blotted out the sun, their hulls glowing like the wrath of ancient gods. Rail cannons fired slugs the size of city towers, each impact tearing holes in Dominion battleships that had thought themselves invincible. Swarms of drones darkened the void, intercepting every missile, every fighter, every desperate attempt at resistance. On the ground, human drop troopers descended like a meteor storm. Armored in obsidian plating, they moved through the Dominion's capital cities with unrelenting speed. Streets ran red with the blood of those who had once jeered at human weakness. The Dominion Council fled into bunkers, but humanity found them. Not with spies or betrayals, but with relentless persistence. Walls shattered, vaults cracked. The rulers who had mocked humanity were dragged into the light. And for every name whispered by survivors of Erebus, the humans answered with fire. Aftermath, the silence of empires. When it was done, the Dominion was no more. Their fleets broken, their palaces burning, their proud world stripped of banners, left to kneel in dust and silence. The galaxy trembled. Those who had once laughed at humanity's softness spoke only in whispers now. They remembered the colonies destroyed, the envoys mocked, the people enslaved, and they remembered what followed. Not rage, not chaos, but something colder, something infinite. Patience had been mistaken for weakness. Mercy had been mistaken for fear. But humanity's defiance was not the whimper of prey. It was the silence before the storm. And when that storm broke, no empire could endure. Among survivors of the Dominion, one phrase spread in hushed tones, repeated in every darkened chamber, carved into the ruins of shattered fleets. "Never provoke Earth again." And across the stars, every empire listened, because they now understood the truth. Humanity may forgive. Humanity may endure. But when vengeance comes, it comes like the end of worlds.